Alright, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this Monday evening, September 22nd. And of course, a helicopter decides to go by the moment I start recording. The universe is out to get me, as always. Anyway, I want to give a happy good evening shout out to one, because he brought it to my attention. Let me check the old phone here. Mr. Miguel Warlock Patreon. That's his name on Discord. I'm not sure what his name is on YouTube or if he's even subscribed to me. But he shot me a message thanking me for my latest video, which I did, I believe, Saturday or Sunday. I don't even know. But anyway, he was nice enough to point out that I had made reference to the last ParSec. And it appears I don't have a last ParSec video. I have over 200 videos posted. I can't believe it's that many, guys. And we are almost to 550 subscribers, I believe. Man, you know, I don't have my shit together tonight, guys. I'm falling apart here. It's late. I just put the little guy to bed. You may hear him yelling in the background, making funny noises and stuff because, well, that's how he is. 548 subscribers, and I want to give a big shout out also to Path to Science Fantasy, who just subscribed. Literally, I just got the notice. So thank you, sir or ma'am, for subscribing, and I appreciate the patronage. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way before we start our video du jour. As always, like and subscribe. Let's grow the Meanie Army. You can support me on ZellyPay if you're in the United States. It's linked to most online banking apps. So if you're with Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whoever, your local credit union, most of them have the have ZellyPay installed. And you can always just go to ZellyPay, ZELLE pay.com, and you can send a donation. Please rest assured that all of the money goes back into the channel. I just got this awesome gaming chair, which is oh so comfy, and it was thanks to you guys because I spend a lot of time in this seat. You know, or you can do PayPal Pay Me if that's more your thing. If you're international, Zelly doesn't support international at this time, and I don't know if they ever will. But if you're overseas, and I have evidently a number of viewers overseas, feel free to go to PayPal Pay Me, Mr. Mean John Polak, and you can send a donation there. So with that out of the way, I want to say a big thank you to Miguel because we were chatting and he was like, I'm trying to find your last ParSec video and I don't see it. And I'm like, oh, let Mr. Mean go look for it. I know exactly where it's at. It's not there. So not to say that I'm not very smart, but well, I'm not very smart. It's a good thing I'm so full of humility, right? Tonight's video du jour is, well, of course, the last ParSec. I honestly thought, guys, that I had covered this, and I guess I didn't. For those that don't know or are new to the channel, to Mr. Mean, you will quickly learn that I am a huge Savage Worlds fan. It is my go-to game. I like to run it. It's fast, it's fun, it's furious, which is just what they promote. And I've loved almost all of their settings, you know, and I like to pride myself on my integrity and admitting when I'm wrong. And you'll see I've done a couple of videos where I had to go back and retract some statements that I said about Pinnacle. Not that I was picking on Pinnacle, but they had launched a playtest document, and they wanted you to pay for it. And I was like, whoa. And so it went on a big tirade. But I reached out to Jody Black, who is awesome. I've dealt with her a couple of times. I'm not sure if she remembers me or not. But I'm sure she did send me a private message through YouTube telling me that the mistake was corrected. It was basically they uploaded an image, you know, on their website saying that it was a pay-to-play test. And it failed to point out that if you were the Kickstarter or if you bought the product, that you would get in on the play test. It was just a mix-up, and it was totally their fault. They realized that after I had seen it, and they were, I guess, a number of the Meanie Army had reached out to them and said, whoa, what's going on, Pinnacle? Why is Mr. Mean up in arms? And Jody Black reached out to me, and she was like, you know, hey, Sorry about this, total mistake, so sorry, and it's been corrected. And so I went back, and because a lot of my viewers were like, whoa, dude, you're wrong. No, it's not like that. They had already corrected it, and or they were in the know. And so they had pointed out to me and said, no, dude, it's not like that. It's if you buy it, you get access to the plate. And I'm like, well, guys, I'm just going by what I see on the website. I was gonna sign up for it, and it just hit me the wrong way, And it's one of those he said, she said, and everybody, Mr. Mean. I'm called Mr. Mean for a reason. It's well deserved, trust me. And so I bit. And I wasn't going to let go. And then, it was nice that I got some vindication in the fact that it was a mix-up. And, they've since corrected it because they looked at it and went, oh, wait, he's right. That's not what we're trying to say at all. And Pinnacle, like I said, is a top-notch company. I love those guys. Shane Hensley, I've had the pleasure of playing in numerous games. And I think my Rifts core book is signed by him. And Sean Patrick Fannin I'm a huge fan of his. He's actually called me out on a couple of videos, and he's real big with the guys down at ChupacabraCon that I went to, and I had made a video about how horrible of a first-time experience I had at ChupacabraCon, and he basically was like, whoa, look, this guy, he's blasting you guys a new one. You need to reach out to this guy and take care of him. And man, did they ever. Not only did they gave me the VIP suite. They covered my hotel. They covered my convention cost. And I got into any games I wanted to get into. And I got access to the VIP rooms and stuff. I didn't take advantage of any of that because that's not the kind of person I am. I'd like to think that I have some ethics and morals. And to be honest, at the time I was unemployed. I was living down in Texas, and it was just miserable for me. And the fact that they just paid for my hotel and my gas to get there was more than enough for me. And my wife and I and our newborn son went down there, and we had an absolute blast. They rolled out the red carpet, and they took really great care of us. So with that being said, if you're ever in the Austin area and you want a good convention, go to ChupacabraCon, because I'm telling you, they've got their shit together now. That year they were in the Marriott, and the Marriott had put some stank on them and had forced their hand a little bit, and they were kind of like, they wanted to keep it there because had been in and around that area, and so they acquiesced. Maybe they shouldn't have, but they did, and they paid for it because, like I said, I had an absolute horrible time. We were packed in like sardines. The conventions, the Marriott staff didn't care anything about us. They treated us like redheaded stepchildren. It was horrible. Anyway, this is not a rant about ChupacabraCon, although if you're in the area, go check it out. I guarantee you will have a good time, and you will most likely see many of the folks from Pinnacle. Sean Patrick Fannin always tries to make it there. Shane Hensley usually makes it there. Clint and Jody Black are usually there. There's a number of dignitaries there from Pinnacle, and it's just an all-out thing. John Wick was there from John Wick Presents. He's an old friend of mine, it's Robert Schwab was there. I got to hobnob with him for a little while. He's just super nice guy. Even though I'm not a fan of Shadow of the Demon Lord, he's still a nice guy, and I appreciate what he does because he's very creative. But anyway, I babble. See, this is what I do. This is why you guys come back week after week for this torture. And I don't know why. You guys are gluttons for punishment, but I love each and every one of you. Stay strong, stay positive, and tomorrow's a better day. But the last ParSec, let me gush about this. First of all, let me get what I don't like. I don't like plot point campaigns. I don't think I own one of Pinnacle's plot point campaigns or games that have been developed for Savage Worlds that are plot points. I don't like them. I don't like being on rails. I don't usually buy pre-printed adventures. It's not my cup of tea. I got a lot of craziness up here. I don't need any help. And I've been GMing for over 25 years now, almost 30. And people keep coming back to my games. So I must be doing something right. Or there's just a lot of crappy GMs out there. I don't know. But I fell in love with the last ParSec mainly because of their marketing. They put out these posters when they were doing the Kickstarter. I didn't back the Kickstarter because at the time I was unemployed and just money was so tight. I'm not lying. I was literally debating whether or not I was going to have to live out of my car It was that tight. And if it wasn't for the graciousness of my in-laws supporting us for a short period of time, that's what it would have came to. And for those of you out there that are parents and or fathers and husbands, if you're around my age, or even if you're not, you know the willingness and the strength that we must have to support our families, and that drive that says we've got to do whatever we've got to do to support our families. And I was at the point of I was going to start working double shifts at McDonald's if that's what it took to feed my family. And luckily it didn't come to that, and I was able to find work, and I was able to keep a little breadcrumb on the table. And it's been an uphill battle. Miguel thanked me for staying positive, and my videos matter, and that means a lot. And this guy doesn't know me from Adam. I'm assuming it's a guy with the name Miguel. Could be a lady. I don't want to gender specify, but thank you, sir and or madam, if it may be, for your kind words. It really means a lot. This is my way of handling depression. We all have things that we worry about. I was diagnosed not too long ago with PTSD. I did a stint in Desert Storm, actually back when it was called Desert Shield, and I was only in country for 2 weeks. I was lucky. I know people that are still over there. It's been 20 years and they're still over there. They're finishing their military careers and they're about to get out. It's crazy. But they wanted to stay there. My son was just born. I didn't want to be there, but I got called up and I went because that's my duty. That's my civic duty. I signed a piece of paper and I swore an oath, and so I did what I had to do. And luckily I was able to go over there, do what I had to do, and come back. And I came back, with 10 toes and 10 fingers, and some of my friends did not. So much love and peace and everything goes out to those guys, because those are the true heroes, the guys who get wounded in the line of duty and come back. And those that don't come back are even more heroes. I'm no hero. I'm just a schmuck who got lucky, and I went over there and I was able to come back real quick. But anyway, enough of all of that. The last ParSec had these really cool posters, and they just sold you. It reminded me of the old, the Riveter. I can't think. Molly, what's her name? And she's doing the muscle thing, and she's got the bandana, and she says, "We can do it," from the old World War. I think it was World War II. Molly the Riveter. I can't think of her name now, but someone will put it down in the notes down below. But anyway, it was these posters, like, very, very much promotional type posters of the positive things of the last ParSec and CorpSec and all that. And they had these just really cool posters, and just an innovative science fiction game that kind of was a little bit over the top. You could make it as much hard sci-fi as you wanted, or you could make it, campy sci-fi. It's Savage Worlds. You can do whatever you want. It's a generic gaming system, and this was just a backbone for you to work off of. And I'm going to try and see if I can find one of the posters. I thought the art in the game, in the book, is fantastic. It is a hardback book. You do need the Savage Worlds Sci-Fi Compendium to play this, and if you want to add a little more alien weird stuff, the Superhero Compendium or the Magic Arts, the Magic one, doesn't hurt to have either. And now that I want one of those posters, I'm not going to be able to find it, which is going to kill me. But there's just, they've got all the core fantasy races in here, and of course there's not one of these last ParSec, CorpSec pictures or whatever that I can find. But found a booknote or a bookmark. This is the core rule book from Pinnacle. It goes for $24.99. Now this is in the early Savage Worlds Explorers Edition. So now, of course, we're on Suede, Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. And so if you go on Pinnacle's website, there is a free PDF that you can download that will bring you into the Suede era. It's my understanding, if I read some of the forums and some of the other posts correctly, is that they're not going to be re-releasing their books in the Suede edition. They're going to just release these PDFs that will bring the game into Suede. So these books are still relevant. This is hardback, $24.99. It is very well put together. It's kind of hard to see there, but it is stitched, and it is glued, and it's you got a nice space interior. I like the digest size, the comic book size. It makes it portable. I mean, this is pretty much, let's see, let's get the science fiction compendium. Yeah, let's get this out of here. I mean, this is pretty much everything in the library. I think there's a couple PDFs and there might be some softback splat books. But for the most part, I believe this is all the hardbacks. There might be one other one that I'm missing. And of course, the Savage Worlds Science Fiction Compendium, because this is going to give you your aliens and all their powers, help you create new aliens. So this is indispensable. This is a whopping $20. It's still available as far as I know, and it is $20 well spent. It's got a lot of new edges, a lot of new hindrances, and it will help you make your character. So you need this and this. You can sneak by without this, but it's going to be difficult. These two are really much needed. The GM screen, I actually didn't own this. I found it on, I think it was Miniature Market or it was Game Nerds. One of the two. Shameless plug for either one. They're both excellent purchase websites. If you can't find it on Amazon and you have a Prime membership, which is the way I recommend you get it, because you save $1 and you get 2-day shipping. I'm impatient. I don't want to wait. I want it now. So the thing you give up with Amazon, though, is a lot of times you won't get the PDF. You know, like Green Ronin has a deal where if you pre-order from them, you get the PDF. I don't think Pinnacle does that. But I think you can usually get a discount on the PDF if you buy from Pinnacle. So you're not always going to get that. And there's a disturbing trend in retailers now that are, or game companies that are selling their PDFs for maybe $10 less than the hardback book. And I have a beef with that. But that'll be a rant for another time. Let's keep the rant out. Let's talk about the good things. This is the GM screen. It's landscaped. It's 3 panels. The art is very cool. It is totally worth your money. It does come with a little adventure, which, give me just a second and I'll pull it out. It's a little pamphlet, and it's called the Enigma Equation, and it is an adventure. It's, just a small little 32-page booklet. Again, it's the GM screen, sells for $19.99, and you get this adventure with it, complete with maps, write-ups for everything, everything you need, primary races. It's kind of more like a primer and an intro to the last ParSec. So if you're going to be the GM and you're going to run this for your group, I highly, highly recommend you get the GM screen. Like I said, it's $20 well spent. Under $60, you're going to have everything you need to run this game, because you don't need to buy any of the other supplements. Obviously, it's cool if you do, but you don't need them. I bought them because at various points in times I found them at discounted prices on Amazon or eBay or something like that. I believe I bought these two from my local game store when I lived down in Louisiana, and the game store owner always gives me a nice little discount, 10 to 20%. So I didn't pay full cover, but I did buy them from my local game store. The last Eris Beta 5 is a $20 supplement. It's a softback. It's 96 pages. I think that's decent bang for your buck. It's full color on the inside, glossy paper. It's written very well, and it is a full-on adventure. When Eris Beta 5's valuable commerce is threatened by unscrupulous agencies, a Jump Corp employed team must root them out. Jump Corp, not CorpSec. I'm getting that confused with another game. Jump Corp is their defaulto who the players start for, and they're like a galactic police organization, and they are awesome. And these, if you haven't seen them, go on the web and just do a Google search for the last ParSec, and you'll see and go to images, and you'll see all the posters, and I think they're great. They're fantastic. I would go so far as that if I was currently running this, I would print those out on a nice color printer, and I would put them up in the room that we're gaming in, just to kind of give you that feel, that corporate feel. But I think it's really cool. So anyway, this is kind of an adventure and a setting. It's a setting book for the last ParSec. Contains new locations and characters for the planetary system, new starships, and setting rules for asteroid mining and ring storms. A plot point campaign, savage tales, and a host of new creatures from these strange new worlds. This book requires the Savage World core rules and the Savage World science fiction compendium to play. So even right there, it tells you. So this is a splat book. Has a lot of GM material in it, some player information in it, because there are new races in here that you could use as player races. That's the nice thing about Savage Worlds. It's very easy to add to stuff. So source book, all around good GM/player book. You don't need this. You don't have to buy it. But again, it's $20. Like I say, for under $100, I think you can get pretty much most of the line and have plenty of gaming material for quite a while. So then the other supplement I have is also $20, and it's Scientorium, the last part, and it's softback again, looking at 96 pages again. So again, pretty decent bang for your buck. And it says, Scientorium is a setting book for the last ParSec. It contains new locations and characters for the epic journey to find Scientorium, new setting rules for the library's many wonders, a plot point campaign, savage tales, and detailed insight into the world of the reclusive librarians. This book requires blah, blah, blah. I started to run this one just because I picked it up and I wanted something quick, and I was going to use it as just a primer. And I really enjoyed what I read so far. They did a Kickstarter, I think, for their Prison Planet one. I didn't get it. I'll probably pick it up when I see it on Amazon or in my local game store. Unfortunately, I live out here in the boonies. Not the boonies, but Duluth, Minnesota is about as big as Beaumont. So I have 3 gaming stores, 2 here in Duluth and 1 in Wisconsin, which is literally just across the bridge. It's a 5-minute drive to get to it. They all suck. Level Up is pretty awesome, but they don't carry anything new. They carry a couple D&D miniatures, and then they carry everything Warhammer and Magic. And they don't even carry everything Warhammer. They just have a couple of things on it. They're real big into ordering whatever you want, which is great, but that's not how I like. I want it right now. When I walk into the game store, I want to see the new item shelf, and I want to go to the shelf and see what's new this week. And I understand they're a small company, they're a single business, husband and wife team that run the business, and they just can't afford to get all the new RPG stuff that's never going to sell and sit on their shelf. So what I do is every couple of months I make a trip down to Minneapolis to the game store called The Source. If you're ever in that area, go check it out. It's also where the headquarters of Fantasy Flight Games is. So I usually make those 2 stops. A lot of times Fantasy Flight will be having a sale, and they have a huge game center, and it's open for everybody to play in. It's really cool. And so that's what I do. So I love Level Up. It's a great place to recruit players. If you're a D&D fan or a Pathfinder fan, it's hard to get any other games to get traction because A, they don't carry them, and B, it's a small town and everybody wants to play D&D, and they don't even know. When they see game libraries like that in the background there, they go, oh my God, I didn't know there were that many games. Oh yeah, there's lots of games. And Mr. Mean's got, it's like I have Pokemon fever. I've got to get them all. But this last ParSec is really cool. Again, you make your character. It's Savage Worlds. If you don't know Savage Worlds, do yourself a favor. Get a copy of the Suede edition. That's the newest rules. I think you can still buy the Adventure edition, and then you buy this core book for $25, whopping in at an amazing 96 pages. Again, there's a theme here. This one's a little bit more, but it is hardback, and it is well put together. I've had it since it came out, and it's not falling apart. Like I said, I've ran a couple games out of it and had no issues. Everybody likes it. It's Savage Worlds. It's your generic sci-fi. You have Jump Corp, which, like I said, is your default organization. But it's Savage Worlds. You can make up anything you want. It can be as hard sci-fi as you want, or it can be campy. It can be, Star Trek, if that's what you want to run. I mean, the sky's the limit. And of course you can add superpowers, psychic powers. The nice thing with Savage Worlds is it's a generic setting. So your magic, your superpowers, your psychic powers, your Jedi powers, it's all the same thing. It's just what they call trappings is how you describe it. And so, it can be a force power for a Jedi. It can be a kinetic blast, from a psychic, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you and your game group. And again, the Sci-Fi Compendium is a must-have for this. And these are just awesome books, guys. I highly recommend them. I think if you're on the fence, or you have a D&D or a Pathfinder group, or you're playing some other fantasy game, Warhammer Fantasy, and you want to break from the norm, get the creative juices flowing again. And, you know, sometimes change is good. It gets you thinking about other things, and then you can go, oh, yeah, what about this game? This is one of those ones that, I mean, you can make characters in 10 minutes. As long as you as the GM have a good idea on how to make characters, you can walk your players through it, and it's super fast. And, of course, with the new Suede edition, it's even faster. And like I said, just download the conversion document. I think it's 2 pages, PDF. It's free, and you can be up and running in 10 minutes. It is, and the game system is super easy. Deck of cards, you can buy them from Pinnacle. You can buy your own theme decks if you know. I've seen Flash Gordon decks of cards which fit the theme really well, or sci-fi, you know, playing cards. Bicycle makes tons of different themes of cards. I should probably do a video review of all the different, because I've got several different decks for Hellfrost, which is a kind of a Viking fantasy set, high fantasy setting. And then Richard Woolcock of Zadmar Designs, he's put out a number of decks he's got one for Deadlands, he's got one for like goblins and fantasy, he's got one for sci-fi, and all those decks would work great for Savage Worlds. In fact, he made them for Savage Worlds, and he's a small press guy trying to make a buck. Go back in my review and look at my Goblin deck. I did a review of that, and I also did a review of the sci-fi deck, which I think, pardon me as I slide around. Yeah, I've got it. So he did the Saga of the Goblin Horde, which is his own little, he did like a one sheet, a little mini adventure, but he did a deck of cards. And so he sent these to me for review, and I go in the archive there and look at my review. And then he has the Galactic Countdown deck, which is the same thing. And this would work amazing for the last ParSec. Totally would fit in. These are great cards, totally worth I think it's $12 on Drive-Thru RPG. Totally worth it. And then, of course, I bought from Tag, Triple Ace Games, I bought the action deck for Hellfrost. And this, again, another awesome resource. So you have these specific decks, because initiative is card-based. It's not, you don't roll initiative, you flip cards. And that's a great system. It works really great. It really adds to the flavor of all of Pinnacle's games. So I think I have gushed on. We're coming up on 30 minutes. I've gushed on enough about Savage Worlds, the last ParSec. It's way in the future. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't want to give you too much, because I really want you to go out and buy the book. Tell them Mr. Mean sent you. It's got colonization. It's got information on hyperspace and how it's got basically a plethora of planets in here, and it's got information on interstellar travel. It's got information on communications and everything. And I mean, for 96 pages, they cover so much information. So it is totally worth it. I think you will enjoy it. It's got some neat stuff. They give you the alien races. The Parastine, or otherwise known as Deaders, which is basically a bug, a slug that crawls into a dead body and reanimates it. And they have a special suit they get in. They are a sentient race of slugs, for lack of a better word, but they have to get fresh corpses. And so they're not evil, they're not maniacal, they're not the bad guys. They're a player character race. They're just one of many in here. The Florians are basically plant people, which I think is amazing. Let's see. We have the insects, which are the bad guys, insectoids. They're not necessarily bad guys, but they can be. I mean, any of these could be the bad guy. Let's see. And of course, you have the Oryx, which are, man, they're crazy. They're a centaur type species. But yeah, they're cool. And it gives you a little bit about their background and how they came to being, how they joined the Stars, and all that fun stuff. Sarians, these look very much like one of the races from WotC did a sci-fi game. I can't think of the name of it now. But these look like one of the races that were in there. Except in their game, though, I think they had 4 arms. But in here, they only have 2. But they're kind of tall, and they're kind of known for their precognitive abilities. So anyway, yeah, guys, check it out. Last ParSec by Pinnacle Entertainment. Totally worth your time if you want a good sci-fi game and you don't want to do necessarily Star Wars or Star Trek, and you don't want to do Babylon 5, and you want something that's easy to get into and a low cost point to get into. This is the game for you, man. I mean, under $40 you can have, or right at $40, $45, you can have everything you need, basics wise. So that's that. Coming up in the next couple of days, though, I'm going to do another video of Fantasy Age Companion by Green Ronin. I ordered this off of eBay. It's in pristine condition, and I had missed it for some reason. I'm a big fan of the Age system by Green Ronin. I just did a review a couple weeks ago of Modern Age, which I really enjoyed. And so of course I have Fantasy Age. I have Dragon Age, which I'm a huge fan of, and I've ran many times. It's another one of my go-to games. And plus that, if you buy that hardback book, the compendium, which is all 3 box sets into one semi-collector's edition for Dragon Age, totally worth it. And if you can find that at a reasonable cost, pick it up, because it's awesome. But Fantasy Age Companion goes with Fantasy Age, obviously. And I missed this. I didn't even know it came out. I knew nothing about it. I don't know if they did. I don't think they did a Kickstarter. Green Ronin's not real big on Kickstarters. They've done 1 or 2, I think. But yeah, I was totally excited to see this. Just happened across it by accident on eBay. So I was like, oh, I'll get it. And I got it for a decent price. It's $32.95. I think I got it all said and done for $27. So that included shipping. So to me, that's a win. And like I said, it's in pristine condition. Going to do a review of this maybe tomorrow night. I have some exciting news. There's some promotional opportunities at my job. I am a contractor for a local company here. It's a permanent job, and I have medical benefits, and my pay is decent. But there are some permanent positions opening up, and my coworker came to me. He's one of the senior level guys. He answers directly to the boss that I work for, but I'm a contractor on site, and he said that I should put in for this job. And so there's no guarantee I'll get it, but I should put it in there. And so I've got to go work on my resume, guys. So as always, peace and hair grease. I love you guys. Stay strong. I'm always online, usually on Discord. I can't chat too much while I'm at work because, well, I'm at work. But shoot a message, say hi. I'll always find time to say hi. And people care, dudes and dudettes. Don't let people ruin your gaming fun. Don't listen to what other people say. It's not a childish endeavor. We do it for fun. We do it for escapism. I was a police officer for 10 years. I've seen a lot of ugly shit in humanity. And of course, being overseas and being in a time of war, not a fun time. And we all have things to deal with. So stay strong. Someone's always listening. And, if you feel like you don't have anybody, you've got Mr. Mean. I'll always listen to you. So peace and hair grease. And remember, guys, be nice.